practice has gone great so far. Thank goodness we've had great weather. I think that's been a major plus. Last year was really rough. Trying to work out, practice, get ready for the opening couple of weekends. You know, fortunately, we have a new indoor facility that has really, been special for us so far the whole year. Getting, a lot of extra practice in the fall, and then not really having to worry about it. You write up a practice plan. If it gets cold or sleet, snows, or whatever, we'll just go in there. Example, today's practice, the whole team will be out on the game field, for the first hour and 15 minutes, and then the pitchers will break away and go over to the indoor and continue to work their drills, and we'll continue to do our drills with the position players. So then we'll all come back together maybe 4:30 or so to finish up. So it's it's been a very good first couple of weeks as far as practice goes, and as usual we had a few guys banged up, but nothing major. So hopefully we'll heal up here before the 13th gets here.
How's the catching situation going with Pinnell and Gossard?
Yeah, it's a pretty good battle. Pinnell is a very polished defensive catcher. He will throw you out if you give him a chance. Catches, blocks, strong kid, junior college transfer. Alex is, he's battling. It's a battle. Right now, Pinnell's a little bit ahead of him on the defensive side. We have also have Carson Shaddy, who, was one of the best catchers in the state his senior year. Redshirted him last year. We've been playing him in the outfield, but we're catching him a lot more now. So we've got it covered back there. It's just when you lose a guy like Jake Wise and all those games and experience, it's always tough to replace him just because of the knowledge. Pinnell has a little bit of that. He's starting to catch for 2 years in junior college in Texas, and then Alex got some time there at the end of the year and did a real good job for us. So, it'll be fine.
Could you see platoon those guys because they're already left the year?
I think what you'll see this year is, because of us having a little more depth of offense, some hitters left, right, coming off the bench, we'll be able to pinch in for those guys. We'll be able to run for those guys and just put in another catcher. You're probably going to see many a game. We're going to see them splitting, where maybe one catches 2 or 3 or 4 innings. We get a crucial situation. Unless they're just really tearing it up offensively, we'll go with another hitter and then put the other catcher in. And if we have to do that again in the 8th, we'll do it. So, I think that we just have a little more depth on the offensive side than we've had since 2011 is going to give us a chance to make some more moves.
How have your potential starting pitchers looked, and how many chances are they going to get before
you
guys get rolling?
Well, right now, obviously Killian, Taccolini, Jackson, Teague, McKinney, those are the ones that jump right out at me. They all throw strikes. They've all got good stuff. Jackson and Taccolini came out of the bullpen for the most part last year and were very good as freshmen. They're a lot better now. They're bigger, stronger, and a lot more mature. You'll probably see those guys start the opening weekend. McKinney's a straight-up freshman that has good stuff, good mound presence, mature kid for his age. Very, very good changeup. Can throw it in any count, which is a major plus. So, the first weekend, possibly he'll be out of the bullpen. But when we get to the part of the season where we're playing, 5 games a week, 4 games a week, we got to come up with a couple more starters. So, but as far as answering your other question, they'll have another. They've had one outing last weekend. They'll have another one this weekend, the next weekend, and then we'll be ready to go. So it gets here quick.
Killian had a long season last year. I guess he opened his eyes at the end. Is he pretty well recovered?
No, he hadn't recovered completely yet. He didn't throw the first weekend. We're trying to bring him along real slow right now just to make sure that, we can give him the best opportunity to not re-injure his elbow. He had a little tendonitis in there. And so when you shut somebody down and they don't pick up a ball for a couple of months, it's starting over basically. So he didn't get into the routine as much over the holidays as the other guys. So he's a little behind, but we're hoping that he'll be ready hopefully for opening weekend, but if not, definitely the next weekend. I know the second weekend, two of the teams we play are ranked in the top 25, so that'll be a super challenge. And then obviously we have to play the home team, South Alabama, who beat us twice last year.
You said Fennell's real polished defensively. What specifically do you like about him?
Well, he's got, first he has very good blocking skills. You don't see too much get by him. When I say polished, I just feel like you can see that he's had a lot of game experience at the college level. Obviously, it's not Division I or SEC experience, but it is college baseball at the next level. So I just see him as a guy that doesn't get rattled too easy. He handles the pitchers. He can talk to them, communicate with them, and he throws very well. He's very accurate.
Even though Gosser didn't get to play a lot, how much did the experience he did help? How much did that help him?
Well, I think it gave him a lot of confidence, and I think that'll help get him off to a good start. If he hadn't played any last year and now he was second or third string catcher and he's in the lineup or the starting catcher, I think that he would be a little bit nervous. Usually that gets that out of the way. And just being on the field, playing in the competition, I mean, it's not like he just caught a couple of midweek games last year. He caught down the stretch when we needed it the most. We were talking every game was a big game. His first game's Friday night against Texas A&M here. And, he did a good job. Like I always tell you, if you don't really notice the catcher, they're doing a good job. Same with the umpire. If you don't notice them, doing a good job. So I think just, like anything else, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and you become more comfortable.
What have you made of the ball so far? Do you feel like you guys are going to score more runs with that ball?
Yeah, I think just to answer your second question first, I think we will score more runs with it with last year's ball with this team. The ball is definitely, in my opinion, it's better. It's we talked about it a little bit in the fall. It's a flat seam ball instead of the raised seam, and if you had one of each in your hands, you can really tell a difference. And when we hit it, it travels a little farther. We hit the ball out of the park more consistently in batting practice. Two reasons: the baseball and that we're a little bit better. The ball is, but in the way I describe it, when it comes out of the wrapper, when it's new, it's a good ball. It's going to be a good game ball. When you beat it around a little bit in practice, it kind of loses its pop. So you come to maybe one of our practices, we're not using the ball right out of the wrapper, not all the time. So it's not going to go quite as far, but it's going to be a good game ball. And I feel like that you'll see across the board nationally, there's going to be a lot more home runs, extra base hits, and scoring in general. And with that other ball, it got to the point that if the wind was blowing in a little bit, outfielders were playing really shallow and just daring you to hit it over their head, and you had a hard time doing it. So then you can't go from first to third on a base hit. You can't go from second to home, and runs weren't being scored, and base hits were being taken away that are normally hits. It just took away from the game, in my opinion. So hopefully it'll go good with this ball. I think we have to use this ball for 2 years. They're going to evaluate it. I would say that at a minimum they'll keep this ball, and I wouldn't mind seeing it going a notch harder, the baseball, to maybe the minor league specifications, which we're still under those. So we'll see.
How have you guys kind of gone about integrating the new ball with your pitches? Did you just give the new one to them?
Yeah, and a lot of these guys that already played with a flat seam ball in summer ball. A lot of times they use the pro ball. The Cape Cod League, they use professional baseball. International baseball, Team USA, we use flat seam ball. I think they like it more. Even the kids that are big-time breaking ball pitchers, that was a lot of people were thinking that, you take away that high seam, is going to take away from someone who can spin that ball and make a move. The way I look at it, if you can spin a baseball, you can spin it. And I don't see anybody getting any blister problems like I've seen in the past, and that was a major issue with us over the last few years with that high seam. Killian had problems with it, DJ Baxendale, Smiley. I mean, I can remember games we had to pull them, and it didn't go good after we pulled them. So, and it's because, their fingers are bleeding, and I don't think you're going to see that as much. But they seem to like it. You can make that ball move a little bit more, especially the fastball, two-seamer. It'll run, change up, sink a little more. So they have some advantages. And like I said, if you can throw a slider or breaking ball, you can still throw it.
Does
Stone your closer to start the year?
Yeah, he will be to start the year. I mean, he's got the experience and the mentality, and what he can really do is field his position, and what he can really do is he can hold runners. Our guys are scared to get off the base on him because he'll pick you off. He's got the best right-handed pickoff move I've seen in a long time. So I would say he'd be the go-to guy right now.
How's the outfielders shaping up there?
Yeah, right now, Tyler Spoon's doing you can just see the development, the mental development with him, and physically he's always had a lot of talent, but just, here we go, the experience and playing in the game and being a part of it. But he'll be our right fielder, and Benintendi will be in center. Left field, probably right now would be Joe Serrano. Joe is really playing well right now and hitting the ball. He's bigger and stronger. I like what I've seen there. Luke Bonfield's right there too. I mean, if he's not, playing in the outfield, he may be DHing. But there's 2 or 3 other guys that have a chance to DH. Left field. Yeah, and if Benintendi was to go out of the lineup, then Spoon would go to center. I'll tell you, probably maybe the most improved player on the team from one year to the next is Carson Shaddy. He came in and he had a good fall, hit well over 300. And has had preseason's been good, pretty versatile. I like him because he comes every day with a smile on his face and he gets after it. And, he works and he's learned.
What about the infield? Because you got some guys coming back.
Yeah, the infield is interesting, especially the middle. But at first base, Clark Egan is just Clark is. By the way, he has a little injury right now. He slid into second and kind of hyperextended his shoulder. We're sitting him out all week, but he's the most improved hitter that we've had just on offensive part. I mean, he's a guy you could hit in the 3-hole and just live with him there. You can hit him lead off. Hitting ball out of the park. He's a definite starter. We've got him at first. His background was in high school baseball, he played first base. In summer baseball, he played center field. So he's had more experience at first, and he's very good over there, and he's very athletic. But how many times have you seen your first baseman hitting leadoff? I've never had it, but I think we're going to have it this year. So he looks like the front runner over there. We've got a couple of right-handed hitters that can play behind him, that aren't quite as athletic, but they're good players. And then at second base, I mean, there's 3 or 4 kids that can go there. If Bernal's not playing short, he can play second. Defensively, he's our best second baseman. Rick Namira, switch hitter out of Hawaii, has really done a good job of getting on bases and scoring runs. He can bunt and handle the bat and do some things. And, he's battling over there. And, McAfee's shortstop. Bernal's a shortstop. Another individual that's really improved, and I think you're going to see this right out of the gate, is Bobby Warnes. Athletically, probably one of the hardest working kids I've been around. He's running better. He's stronger. He's pulling the baseball. He can play third, short, or second. He's our best fielder, flat out fielding the baseball. And he's probably the best defensive third baseman in the SEC last year. But the bat's got to come on, and I see that. Max Hogan's another infielder we got out of junior college that hits left-handed. He plays third and second. Him and Namira, they just have to get a touch better defensively for me. I've been pretty spoiled with some of the other guys that are here that, those guys can hit, but if they want to stay in the lineup consistently, they've got to continue to develop as a fielder, and we're working hard on that. So there's a lot of options there. We can pinch hit. If somebody gets hurt, it's not going to devastate us. Good mix of left and right-handed hitting, and but as far as playing short, McAfee has done a tremendous job, and so has Bernal. It's been a pretty good battle.
I guess Tyler, he was kind of banged up at times last year, right? His average probably wasn't what you wanted.
Spoon?
What kind of year do you think he had, and what are you looking for?
I think Tyler's going to have a lot better year than he had last year. I think he's, the issue with Tyler last year is going out of the strike zone too much, swinging at bad pitches, and you're going to get yourself out. Pitchers aren't going to throw you too many good pitches, and he's done a good job of staying in the zone so far, not pressing. I think it's going to be a little bit easier to hit this year for him because he's going to have better hitters around him, more consistent hitters, and guys that also, are a little bit of a threat to run. So we probably should see some more fastballs and a little bit easier to hit. So I just think he's a better player. He's older, more mature. His game's slowing down for him, and I think he's a guy that, could put together a big year. He was draft eligible last year. could have been a pretty good draft, but didn't have the year he wanted. And then he still told him, I think I'm going to come back, and here he is. So he's done well.
Yeah, Jackson is a guy that everybody knows has got a lot of talent. It's throwing strikes was his issue. How's he been with his fastball?
His first outing, just okay. We just had a quick couple 3-inning scrimmage with him. It was just okay, but his second outing was pretty good. He's throwing the ball over the plate. I mean, his secondary stuff is lights out. He throws his breaking ball in the mid-80s, and there's some kids that's what they throw their fastball. His fastball's all in the 90s. It's anywhere from 90 to 96. So maybe he's gone a little more. He's not going to pitch at that, but when he warms up and he gets in shape and he's healthy, he'll pitch 94, 95. There's teams that fear him a little bit. I think the big question is can he give us 5, 6, 7 innings out, when he gets in shape as a starter, or is he better off in the bullpen? And, it's kind of the same with Taccolini. I mean, he can put together some real quick innings because he's got so much sink on his fastball. He can get some ground balls, get in the dugout real quick. And I sure liked him in that bullpen, too, because he's got one of those arms that bounces back. You can throw him twice on the weekend, doesn't bother him a bit, and use him again on Tuesday if you needed to. So those are some of the things, and I think both of those kids will do whatever we ask them and be happy about it. Bottom line, they just want to win.
If McKinney comes on, that would give you the option to do it?
Yeah, to me, McKinney's more of a starter or a long reliever type guy. He'll throw 3 pitches for a strike, and he's pretty consistent. And I think, he didn't play summer ball because he broke his thumb. He came in the fall, was a little bit behind getting his arm in shape. Velocity was down. I mean, he was interesting. He'd throw one pitch 83, and the next pitch would be 89. Then he'd throw 90. Then he'd throw 190, and then go back to 84. Almost like he was just playing around out there. And I think he's starting, when he gets in shape and it warms up for him a little bit, he'll be a guy that's throwing the ball in the 90s with a plus changeup. And Coach Jordan's worked hard with him developing that breaking ball. It's gotten better. So he's a good pitcher.
Overall, SEC, kind of a look at the league overall. What are your thoughts?
I think the league's real experienced with position players. You just look at all these kids, and guys are coming back for their junior year. A couple of seniors slipped through. Obviously, you see the preseason polls, and you see 8 teams, top 25 for the most part. And then there's a wide variety of teams. You got one poll, A&M's not even in it, or Ole Miss. And then the next poll, they're in the top 15, both of them. So it just tells you how good our league is. And I think there's a lot of coaches that feel real good about their teams. And, the latest poll that came out had, Vanderbilt number 1 and LSU number 2. They're pretty good, that poll. So, South Carolina was right there at 4 or 5 or 6, and could go on and on and on. So it'll be a big challenge, but we're excited about it. We kind of feel like that we're a little bit of an unknown, and we're okay with that.
You talk about Spoon's development and growth. You expect the same from Ben Kennedy this year?
Yeah, we're already seeing it big time. You'll see him physically. I saw some video the other day of him last year, and he looked like a little boy to me compared to what he is now. And physically, 10 pounds heavier. He hit a ball yesterday hit it off 3/4 of the way up that scoreboard. And I don't want him to hit home runs. I just want him to hit. And we all love home runs, but I just want him to hit for an average. Don't try to hit home runs, but he's got some power and he's strong. And I see him. He's so much better. And you're looking at a kid last year that came out of the upper Northwest and Cincinnati area that was great up there all summer, but he hadn't played year-round, and it's tough on him. And he faded a little bit and had some bad weeks, had some good weeks, but I see him staying strong all year.
You want no regular DH, like, say, a Wilkerson or a Bonfield, or you're looking to kind of rotate it around?
I think early in the season there'll be a lot of, moving it around. I think that, just right, left, even Chad Spanberger, freshman left-handed hitter we have, he's got tremendous power. I mean, he hits the ball out of the park pretty much when he wants to in batting practice. And, he's still got to develop as a hitter because they'll figure him out. But he's a guy that I got to get him some at-bats. You know, if Hogan's not starting in the infield, left-handed hitter, I need to get him in there. And so he's a good base runner. He can bunt, do some things. And, you know, Wilkerson hit a ball in a scrimmage the other day that went out dead center. Haven't seen that too much here in the last few years. So those are some guys that can get in there. And obviously Bonfield, his first at-bat the other day, hit the ball out of the park against pretty good pitch into left field. So they just got to be able to play defense. You know, it's nice to have those guys. They gotta be able to help us on the other side, and if they do that, they'll be in the lineup a lot.
You don't have a whole pack of lefties on the staff. How do you
Yeah, we don't have a pack. We don't have a dozen. We have or two, do we? But it's you know, it's just the way it worked out. The lefty we really thought we were gonna get, he didn't make it, and signed professional, and then we ended up getting McKinney, a right-hander. You know, in the class that we just signed, the 15 class, we signed 5 lefties. And then the 16 class, what I really can't talk about that we've already committed, we've got some lefties. It's just we got to figure out how to get through this year. The good thing we have is we have right-handed pitchers with good change-ups, and that can slow those left-handed hitters down. And then Kyle Pate's going to have to be a guy that's going to have to come in and get some lefties out for us. You know, pitch twice a weekend, and he threw extremely well. Okay fall, really good the other day, and I challenged him to do it again, see if he can keep repeating it. It's just about keeping these freshmen focused and you know, developing week to week, and I think that's what you're going to see with our whole team. We've got to keep developing week to week and getting better. You know, with our schedule, you know, the first weekend, you know, hopefully we'll get off to a good start playing a team from the north, and we'll get to play some guys, win some games, but after that, you know, but there's games that we're going to have to play extremely well if we're going to win. You know, with these teams coming in from the west and heading to that tournament and playing, you know, Central Florida and Maryland, 2 top 25 teams. And I mean, Central Florida has their whole lineup back except their 9-hole hitter, and he probably couldn't hit. So, you know, that's what we get to face. And then South Alabama, and then we'd come back and play Cal 4 games. You know, Cal kind of messed us up last year in that tournament. Kind of put us in a little bit of a tailspin, and then, you know, Gonzaga, and then we get to go play Vandy on the road and come back and play LSU here. So if we can survive and continue to get better, it's going to be huge for us.